Yep. Okay, you ready there, buddy?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Hello and welcome to this week's Never Mind the Buzzcast. We've got a two-hander today, which is quite strange for us. We've got myself, Stephen, and
Evan. Oh, I didn't know you were gonna.
we've got Evan.
I didn't know
Hello,
you were
everybody.
gonna. Wait,
Okay.
what was the pause? What was the pause there for?
I thought you were going to come in and say me, Evan. Will we try
Yeah.
that again?
Oh no! I've completely fudged it then. Yeah,
Well,
it's
do it again.
me, Evan. Hello,
Uh,
hello,
and we have me, Stephen.
and me, Evan. Oh,
Just say it and me, Evan, because I can edit it later.
and me, Evan, and me, Evan.
Right,
Yay.
good. So, first of all, we'll go into what we've been doing for the week. Is there anything you've been reading or playing or just
Uh,
enjoying?
Playing wise, I've been kind of back into Resident Evil. Really good game. The original remake, if that makes sense. Like the remake from the redone remake. It is confusing, like when you have multiple remakes and HD remasters of remakes and all that. But yeah, been playing that. Pretty good show or pretty good game. And other than that, then I've actually been watching this series on YouTube, The Great War. Have you ever heard about it?
No, no. Is it about
It
World War One?
it it is, yeah. It's basically just kind of a whole history thing, and they do it week by week. They tell you what was happening this week, 100 years ago during the war, and it's a pretty good series. And I've been catching up with that.
Huh.
The Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like,
Well, for me, I've been trying to get into Parks and Rec. I enjoy it,
yeah,
but I'm not really good at watching reams of stuff, so I'm gonna have a fair flog. I can only really watch 2 or 3 episodes of anything really at once.
yeah.
You know, even
I'm the same way. Yeah,
um, so I get into that, and also one thing I do want to get into again this week is Knights of Sidonia is back on Netflix. The second season has been dropped there
oh,
on UK Netflix, UK and Ireland Netflix. So I'll definitely be checking that out soon.
have you been
Very nice
watching it?
show.
Oh, you checked it soon. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen the first season. Yeah, but
Yeah, so did I. Interesting. Has potential anyway. It was
yeah, no, no, it's there.
kind of by the numbers in places, but it looked interesting anyway. The whole cell shaded thing that they went full on with that went pretty well.
Yeah. And as far as comics, not much in the way of doing. I've just been trying to catch up on stuff. There this week there was another injection issue that
Yeah.
was really good. Definitely getting interest. Lots of mysteries and lots of bad sandwiches. Um, Anybody that reads my reviews, it's a big thing in the book. There's always a really
Uh,
something about needing a sandwich or having a really poor sandwich in every
like,
issue. I wonder if it's going to be in every issue.
is it
There's going
like
to be
that
some
thing?
reference to a sandwich.
Is it like that sitcom? I can't remember which one it was that had pineapples in every episode.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
There's a sitcom out there. I can't remember which one. It must have been a biggish one that it was mentioned online, but they introduce a pineapple into every episode. I'm
Mm.
like, that's quite an Easter egg. Like, that's quite dedication just to put in a pineapple.
Now, if
But
any of our listeners can fill that in for us, I'm sure it's not something
that'd
we can find out very quickly on the internet, so we might need some help on that one. Uh,
yeah.
we
But
just look up pineapple, we're gonna find so much stuff. Uh, but
1 second, I'm gonna get this because that's gonna annoy me now.
okay. Why
But
did,
other than that, then other than that, I actually read and reviewed a comic called This Damned Band,
yeah,
and
no,
I
yeah.
thought, yeah, did you? Yeah, and that was pretty decent comic. I felt anyway. Like, I'm
If you can
fairly big into
explain
rock
it, I
music.
saw the name and I was wondering what it was about. I didn't get a chance to read the synopsis. So, what's the? Is it about a band or is it just like kind of a?
It's
Is it
about
band in the
it's
sense
about
it's an army unit or something?
uh, it's basically like you have this kind of mid 70s, early 80s British band. You can imagine the
Mm-hmm.
type, like you're talking about your Who or your Led Zeppelin or your like Rolling Stones or anything like that.
Yeah,
And it's all kind of an
British invasion kind of
amalgamation of
stuff.
all the what?
British invasion kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it's basically those guys are just like the typical, they have all the types. They have like the guy who's spaced out the whole time. They have the blue collar drummer and stuff like that. And they have the lead singer is actually the one normal guy in the whole band. And he's just basically trying to help them not kill each other,
Yeah.
basically. But then in between all that, they take this bunch of magic mushrooms and they actually can't tell if they are in the service to the devil now or not. So
uh,
it's literally the band and the reader are thinking, I can't tell if this is real or not.
yeah. Which is not unhelpful. Like in lots of comics, you do have outlandish plots like that where they might be in service to the devil. It might
Yeah,
be actual plot, but like it's kind of a they live kind of thing. Is it has them Roddy Piper and Keith what's his
yeah, it's exactly like they
name?
live
Have
in
they
that.
gone
Like it's
mad, or
all
are these just the only people that are seeing it?
yeah,
In
yeah,
in that
exactly.
film, it definitely goes straight to like they're the only people seeing it. The sunglasses are real and all that kind of stuff. But there could have been a moment in there that you're given like are these two just gone mental? Is it a collective? you know?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. I think I described it in my review like I didn't say this exactly, but this is like some God hand shit going on here. No, this is like some God hand out of Berserk. Like it's that kind of whoa, this stuff is kind of creepy. And these guys are just like, oh God, I'm really high.
Oh well, you wonder if they'll do the twist and say it's real, or they'll just
Yeah,
or the one thing they could do, which is kind of halfway in the middle, say that there's some really weird stuff going on that's more realistic.
yeah.
Like they're being attacked by people trying to take over their record company or something, and it's a
Yeah, something
thing
like that.
demons trying to
Like
keep them.
I could really imagine like they have it, I'm not spoiling anything, this is me just guessing, but they have this
Yeah, no, I
manager
just
and he has to be a demon, like he has to be like the slug monster from Berserk, like he's the same like physique and all that. He's just like the record label producer and he's evil before all the satanic stuff goes on anyway.
no right. So yeah, well,
Yeah.
so some execs and managers are slimy enough to come off as
Exactly,
demonic
yeah.
anyway. So it mightn't be too far just to say he's normal, Uh,
Yeah.
but
The show I was talking about was Psych. That's the one that had all the
Psych
pineapples in
always
it.
has a pineapple in it.
Yeah, so this article says here anyway.
Do you remember? You know that show? Oh, there's the one that's kind of serious version of Psych. What's it called again? The Mentalist. Which sounds really
I
funny when I say you're a mentalist.
yeah,
But
I remember the ads for it. Yeah.
basically in Psych they've said like have you seen that show? The Mentalist is basically us, but worse. In Psych they've
Oh
said
god.
that it's like
Well, like TV producers aren't famous for their like courtesy and like how would you put it? Like
originality.
they're not known for that either, but just kind of sportsmanship around like that.
All right. Uh,
Yeah.
well, it's just I think because it's such a a tongue in cheek show, so like they can get away with that without being nasty.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
But it's like there is really no new ideas under the sun. You know, it's just
That's
how you take an old idea and manage to put it in a completely new framing it like differently. If you just straight up copy something, it's not good. But
yeah.
like it's like they say
It's like
Deadpool is basically in his inception a rip off of Deathstroke, but he's become a
yeah,
completely different character, even from like just the way he was written at first. Uh, Definitely
yeah.
even more after that.
He was kind of taking the Mickey out of Deathstroke, and then he started taking the Mickey out of everything else. Like.
Yeah. So we'll move on to our first story. The first thing we have is that Grant Morrison, uh, one of the executive, just one of the like now big henchos in DC, thanks to his brilliant work on Batman and such other stuff,
Yeah.
has
And
been called one.
who also doesn't know if he's in the service of the devil or not.
Or well, I was about to say like apparently the giant scorpion god that visits him in his dreams told him now to take over the long running fantasy and sci-fi comics magazine known as Heavy Metal. Uh, he wants to
Yeah,
bring back some of the '70s punk energy that originally had, but update at the same
yeah.
time. Uh,
Is this different to the French show,
the French
or is it
show.
based on that? There's a
Well, no, but
French
yeah,
kind of
basically,
sci-fi.
Heavy Metal
Maybe
was
it was a comic as well.
it's a magazine type comic. It would have been like in the British mold of anthology comics,
Yeah, yeah. Like
and
2000 AD, that
that,
kind of thing.
that would have been some of the talent writing stories for that movie.
Yeah.
So,
Like I know there's the weird kind of sex movie thing, and I think there was something else as well, like a French comic or show called Heavy Metal as well.
mm-mm. Yeah, no, no,
So
I think there was a British heavy metal first.
yeah,
I don't know where the French of it comes from. Uh, but I think they're all connected in some way.
okay,
Um,
yeah, probably the same kind of aesthetic and all that.
yeah, but
Yeah,
like, like
I misread it at first. Sorry, go on.
what did you read it as?
I misread it as Morrissey heavy metal. I thought it was like this, like the singer Morrissey was going to be taking over for some
Ah,
reason.
no, to be honest, like trash
I know.
trash metal riffs with Morrissey crooning over it would be brilliant.
Oh dear. One of my lecturers in college was actually like the head of the Morrissey fan club, the
Yeah.
World Morrissey fan club
Was
even.
he just
He
depressed
was
throwing roses around at you like just like there's some daffodils
I'm
throwing
su I'm surprised he didn't, but the problem was he was a big enough man, right?
yeah.
And he has the same hairstyle as Morrissey, but
He's
he is
fairly
very
tall.
what what?
Who
Yeah, Morrissey
Morrissey's
was
fairly
very kind
tall.
of tall and lanky, like.
Yeah.
But it was always made me laugh because he has kind of whitish hair and Morrissey's haircut, and for the life of me, it made him look like Wigglytuff from Pokemon.
Now when I hear big white hair, I think of Jim Jarmusch. Was it in a
Who's that?
Jim Jarmusch type of look to it?
Who's Jim Jarmusch?
The director. Look just look up an image search of him. You'll get what I mean. Uh,
Jim Jarmusch.
uh yeah.
Oh, Jim Jarmusch. Okay, I thought that was weird, like double barrel name or something like that.
No. His first name's Jim, and his second name's Jarmusch.
Jim.
Uh,
Oh,
uh,
yeah, I see where you're coming from now.
yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah. So he just they just purchased him and his business partners just purchased it from the co-creator of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kevin Eastman, who
yeah.
has remained as the magazine's publisher. Uh, and he apparently Eastman thinks it's a great idea. He's going to blow some minds and expand some others, which
Okay.
uh,
As he can do in fairness to the man, right?
yeah, yeah, and hopefully like you clean up all the blown minds and
Yeah.
you know and put some
Well,
buttresses up for the expanded minds because their necks probably won't be able to hold the expansion. Uh, just get some like big shoulder pads with some cups on them. Anyway, but we'll move on from there. Very interesting news altogether. And speaking of like English creators that are taking on really weird new new avenues, apparently Warren Ellis is going to bring his and this is the quote his genius storytelling to Dynamite's new James Bond title.
Yeah, I
So
am really interested in this. Obviously, I've known a good bit of Warren Ellis's work now, and be interesting to see. I haven't read much of his non-sci-fi stuff. Have you?
no, some of it like Red is kind of non-sci-fi. Um,
Yeah, but he is pretty good at like characters and stuff like that. So it'll be very interesting to see what he brings to the board with that. But I'd love to see like a Bond villain as done by Warren Ellis. That'd be cool, I'd say.
yeah. Well, hopefully it's not like the love child of created of Hitler's sex midgets. If you remember Planetary, I didn't even know he had them. I didn't even know that was a thing. Uh,
Oh dear. But yeah, he's a very talented author, and it's a very daunting thing for any comic creator to do, but I reckon he could have something special on his hands.
yeah,
The only thing I think
it's
though
going
is
to
that like
be titled VA or GR Vagger, and I'll do the description of James Bond returns to London, London, London.
Luncheon
Sean
Shilling.
Bean, Sean Bean,
Don't be.
Sean Bean.
Oh, we
Uh,
have to edit all this stuff.
James Bond. I'm not editing that over a flub. James Bond returns to London after a mission of vengeance in Helsinki to take up the workload of a fallen 000 agent. But something evil is moving through the back streets of the city, and sinister plans are being laid for Bond in Berlin.
Yeah.
So
Um, my
sounds
what?
definitely mysterious and
Yeah. The one thing I'm not sure on is he's kind of saying that he's going to go back to the Bond that Ian Fleming like envisioned, who was just kind of very kind of damaged and very kind of violent man as well.
wasn't
Not
that Daniel
quite.
Craig? Pretty much.
I know, like Daniel Craig kind of brought it back to that as well, but like they weren't always the most loved. Like Casino Royale was well received, Quantum of Solace was not, and
That was
Skyfall
mostly
was
because it's
praised because
rushed,
it
like, and it's half a film.
what?
That's mostly because it was rushed, because of the
Yeah,
lawyers
mostly
strike.
because it was rushed. But
Uh,
Skyfall was kind of praised because it was kind of reclaiming the old kind of magic of the old films, the kind of silliness that kind of comes through with James Bond as well.
mm,
It, it remains to be seen, like, because like a serious Bond isn't quite appealing, is it? As like silly Bond has
it's
all
got
the
its place.
movies from the
I think
'60s
people
on
can
to,
take it
like,
or leave it, and some people want to take it, especially written by Alice.
yeah. Oh yeah, like definitely I'll have a look at this anyway.
Yeah,
Because
and
if it
where
works,
he's talking
great.
about, he could have other elements that are a bit silly, like you could have like the unhinged villains that bring levity
Yeah,
to it, even if
that's what I'd
Bond
like to
is
see.
a damaged dark Bond. You know,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
what I'd like to see. It's just kind of weird guys. Like Bond is very like Batman in that his villains kind of make him a lot more impressive as well.
yeah. So we'll go on to the next thing here. Um, we'll just pause for a second if you can edit this out. I'll just want to check what Chris is saying. Sorry, lads.
He said he won't be able to make it.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go on. I'll restart that sentence that I was
So
about to say.
one sec, just silence. What?
Okay, and also we have another strange film property coming to comic books. IDW, along with Bob Gale, the original writer of the movie series, are starting with a Back to the Future comic,
Ooh,
and which
tell me
seems
more.
like an odd kind of thing. Like how much can they add to like what most people consider a classic story?
Well,
The way they're
they dragged an old cartoon series out of it, so a comic wouldn't be that much of a stretch. I feel. Like, do
Yeah,
you remember the
no, no.
cartoon?
I remember the cartoon. I wouldn't be able to pull up any episodes, but I remember it was like set after the third one. His two
Yeah,
kids were in it.
it was all about him
He had the
and his
train and
family. Yeah,
like it was about Marty, dealing
yeah,
dealing with his adventures after the third film with
yeah.
the whole Brown family.
I used to love it though as a kid because they actually got Christopher Lloyd to do like a post like cartoon part, which is live action in
Oh, right.
character giving science tips to young people. Like I used to love that bit.
What are you doing? Do
But
your
like
homework.
the one that always sticks to me is like where they get electricity from lemons and Christopher Lloyd actually demonstrates it and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Electricity from lemons?
Yeah, electricity
Witchcraft,
from
like.
potatoes. Have you ever seen electricity from potatoes?
Yeah, I've
Yeah, it's
seen it,
pretty
yeah.
much the same idea. It's the
Yeah.
acid you're grating from.
It's enough to like get a spark, but you wouldn't power like a generator, like you wouldn't get the same as you get from a generator anyway. You need like a million lemons.
Yeah, and like
Or
you
or,
know,
or two or two like Keith lemons, the equivalent.
there you go, people. There's one for you. Take that home with you. You know, you haven't got enough lemons. Like go back. Forget about going into Shelbyville and taking that tree back for your phones.
Oh,
But yeah, it seems that the thing they're taking is they're going to do untold tales and alternate timelines. So they're going to use the whole time travel conceit to go create different timelines and have to fix them or just create things that could have happened if something went one way or the other, you know.
so it's
And
like
untold tales, as in, for instance, how the hell did Marty and Doc Brown get together as mates?
as I
And apparently,
met, yeah,
Marty, his house, Doc Brown's house burnt down. That's never been told in the movies how that
yeah.
exactly happened.
That was like in a
Because if you
script or
remember, he was in
something.
that kind of business space at the start of the movie where he has a
Yeah,
house in 55.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, what's that about? Uh, but yeah,
But
no, that could be told. It could be interesting.
yeah,
Uh,
it could get it could get messy as time traveling plots tend to do when they go on for longer than,
yeah,
for
you
example, three
keep them
films.
tight.
Like,
You kind of need to keep those kind of things tight.
yeah,
Because like if they go too out of the way, they become hard to follow. Uh, it's the same kind of way that a lot of people there was a bit of a backlash between for the kind of thing like I've forgotten the name of the bloody film now.
which film?
You know the Christopher Nolan film after the Dark Knight,
Inception.
Inception, yeah, where that was whole one thing within another thing and that thing and
I
another
don't think.
thing.
Yeah, I really don't get that. Inception didn't seem that difficult to understand. Like, you didn't really need to get too into it. I thought.
No, I don't think you needed to, but you could have, like, there was a sense, like, that they're trying to blind you with science, like,
Yeah,
uh, but I don't think it's that hard to follow, but it's like it's one of those things like you worry that the cleverness of the plot is
yeah,
holding
kind
up
of
the rest of the
detracts
story.
from the actual plot. Yeah.
Yeah, because like it was the kind of the set. Like if you watch Memento the right way around, would it be that interesting a story?
Mm, think about it, actually. But it's a better film for being like jumbled up and everything because it makes sense with the character we're dealing with.
Yeah, I know but like if you have
Yeah,
to
it
do
probably
do
probably wouldn't be because it's kind of just a bog standard like revenge and
a bit of a
misdirection
twist,
like
and the
thing.
the twist is in a weird place, so it's like
Yeah,
it wouldn't really.
but
It's the gimmick that is the main quality of the story. It hinges on the gimmick. I don't think Inception does that as much, but you worry that it's a bit too much that. But once it's only one and it does it well and it doesn't
yeah,
spawn a load of films that don't do it as well.
yeah, like Inception and Memento are both still like well-directed, entertaining films to watch. Even if you weren't paying attention to the plot or anything, you still have kind of interesting action scenes and good cinematography and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But then if you go a bit further, you realize where that like starts to lose people is Interstellar, where it's
Which I
just
haven't seen,
has
but I've heard that it does
you
have
haven't
that
seen.
element.
Oh, where it has like problems with getting too bogged down with the details and
Yeah.
not just letting the plot just play out. Few
Mm.
interesting sequences, but not quite as masterfully done. Like,
Okay, well, as soon as we've moved on to talking about Nolan, uh, we'll move off the Back to the Future. I think it's a good idea, but let's hope it's done well and there's some interesting stories out of the comic. And we'll move on to our movie news here. First of all, we've got quick casting news. Apparently, Rachel McAdams has been looked for the female lead in Doctor Strange. I have no problem with this. It's
what
most
was she
likely
in again? Just remind me quickly.
Rachel McAdams. She's currently in True Detective 2, the TV series, uh,
Was she in?
and she was in Mean Girls, Wedding Crashers, uh, The Notebook. I'm trying to think of something actually.
That's probably where I saw. Yeah, I was probably watching Cinema Sins, and I probably saw that.
Yeah,
That's where
but
I
no,
recognized
there's
the name.
plenty of other things she's been in that's newer, but I can't pull them to mind. It's only like the really girly movies I could, or the comedies I could pull to mind. Uh,
It's it's good to broaden your horizons, huh?
no, okay, well, yep. Basically,
Yeah, yeah. Go
it's
on. Sorry.
most likely Clea, but they haven't mentioned who the female lead is going to be. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's decent actress. I have no problem with that. Like, it's pretty not much else we can say. I don't think. How about yourself?
Not much. I'm not too familiar with her work, so I'll just have to wait and see.
Especially not knowing like which characters you're going to be in. I don't think either of us are that au fait with the Doctor Strange mythos to even to make it. If we even know, then to make an opinion on that. So.
Oh, one thing we might know her from is the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes. She was Irene Adler in that.
Oh yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes.
she was grand. She was grand in
She
that.
was killed off
So
weirdly in the second one. I thought that was a waste of her character.
yeah, like that's what annoys me so much is where they have a person in the sequel for like a scene and then they die.
Yeah, and
Like it's
it was a bit
annoying.
of a refrigerator moment. I thought, fridging the heroine.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought you meant like an Indiana Jones bridge. No, the other part. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
That was.
the
It's a shame. It's a
Kyle
shame because
Rayner
like
Kyle
that
Rayner Green Lantern fridging. Uh,
Green Lantern bridging. I just I was trying to find that panel again. It's just. Uh, but yeah, it's a shame because like I actually I like Game of Shadows. If only for Jared Harris because he's a great Moriarty. I feel.
I love the way that they do the dueling Holmes vision.
Yeah, at
It's
the
like
near the end.
they
Yeah.
have Moriarty vision. Uh,
I'm just looking at this fridge panel.
no,
Comic
it
panels.
is kind of a very unfortunate trope in media where they sometimes women are just there to motivate men just by having them killed off or something.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
uh, that's like oh, we got
There's
this really
another.
nice Green Lantern. We'll have his girlfriend shoved in a fridge
God,
and killed and shoved in a fridge. It's like,
I love comic book panels without context. So they just always bring a smile to my face. But there was another film that did it in the same way, except it was a guy, but it was really just annoying. It was Pirates of the Caribbean. Your one's father
they had
died in
fridges
its
back then.
first scene. Yeah, but no, they actually in the
That's
third film.
anachronistic.
In the third film, they basically have her father like open a box, and then it's we're told in the next scene that he died or something. And that just kind of annoyed me a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like he was a bit throwaway. Uh,
yeah. But
so
the same thing, except it's much worse because yeah. Anyway, we can go on about that all day. We might as well move on.
speaking of the casting, we have the rumor at the moment, but it seems to be well home that Marissa Tomei may be Aunt May for the upcoming Spider-Man movie released through Marvel.
Yeah,
Uh, I have no problem with this. People think she's a bit young looking. I don't think
You know what though? Is it possible they might be doing a flashback sequence?
I don't think so. I say that if they're going to skew teenage for Peter, because like when you think about it, in the Tobey Maguire movies, he's kind of like teenage
He's
for like
college age anyway.
yeah, he's college age by the time anything really happens. You
Yeah,
know, it's like they go straight to college like after the first act or so. Uh,
yeah,
like there is teenage stuff, but it's like jumped over really quickly. Uh, and
yeah. I'm just looking up
there's
her name again because I just
probably
forgot about.
the Garfield slightly that as well. It's I think he's still in high school through the most of the first movie.
Yeah,
But
but Garfield looked his age though. He didn't look like a teenager at all.
I he looked movie teenager
Yeah,
more
movie
than Toby
teenager, but
Maguire because teenagers don't look like Andrew Garfield in that first movie.
no.
Movie teenagers, that was okay. Uh, but yeah, so Tom Holland, especially if she's going to show up in, I very much doubt she'll show up in Civil War. I think you'll just be like, we have this young kid that's obviously a teenager, and he's going to be in the middle of this weird kind of play for power between Cap and Iron Man.
Yeah,
Um, so, but in the movie, I think he'll still be fairly good, young looking. Like, what's going to be 2017?
something like that.
I
Yeah,
think so, yeah, because they've shoved it in the middle of something else. So,
yeah. But like the issue at hand really is that female actresses, in particular older female actresses, have a hard time of it already. This is why people are kind of like, why is she so young for a character who? Wait, oh yeah, I just realized her name's Ansme. For some reason, I always figured her as a grandmother for some reason.
no, yeah, that's one of the reasons I think it's no harm going younger because she
Yeah,
always seemed a
okay,
bit
yeah, I
old
just
for a
that's
teenage. Like how big was Richard Parker's family? If he
yeah.
has
'Cause
a sister that,
I
sorry,
think this is just yeah. Sorry, go on.
well, actually, how old? If he has a brother in Ben Parker, because it's his sister-in-law, Richard Parker's sister-in-law.
Yeah, yeah,
If he has someone that's like that much like old and still an uncle, so like I think I think fifties, early 50s is probably as late where Aunt May's always seemed like she's about to pop her clogs in a
yeah,
lot of the images of her
yeah.
in the
I think
comics.
I just realized that it is kind of precedent that has just kind of colored my view of the character. I always thought Aunt May. I always go, oh,
She she
like
she's definitely like a grandmother type.
grandmother type. Yeah, but
Yeah, she's
I
always
never
been
thought that.
depicted as a grandmother type.
Yeah,
Like she's
but yeah,
practically Granny from the Tweety Bird cartoons half of the time. Like all the
yeah,
other times she's a lot younger.
yeah, yeah. But like coming from a family where there's like 13 years between me and the eldest in our family, yeah, that's it's not too like far fetched to have a fairly young aunt as well. So yeah, I'm not too pushed about that anymore now myself.
Yeah, and Marissa Tomei, even though she's quite good looking, older, she's what like probably in her 50s now. Like
That's good.
yeah, Googleize it. Uh,
Realize it that I
I
was
can
watching another podcast during the week and they're saying like fact checking will ruin this podcast and
no,
fact checking will also ruin this podcast.
there's nothing
December
to
the
ruin.
64th. It's 50. Yeah, it's 50.
So like
Perfect
she
age, really. Yeah.
yeah, so it's just that she doesn't look like Aunt May. She's not the gray haired bun Aunt May
Yeah.
that we've gotten before. And to be honest, neither was Sally Field in
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she definitely
And
looked older, but she wasn't your typical Aunt May
Rosemary
either,
Harris, like,
you know. So
yeah.
it's yeah, so it's the one thing. I, I always bothered about me about Marissa Tomei is why she won that Oscar. She won an
What was
Oscar
that for?
for her role in, get this, My Cousin Vinny.
It wasn't Vinny. I do know that name, but I just can't quite place it.
It's the you know the little guy from Goodfellas. What's his name? I'm getting really bad with names today.
Pesci.
Joe
Pesci.
Pesci. He's a lawyer and he's looking after Ralph Macchio's. I can remember Ralph Macchio.
Is
Ralph
this the
Macchio,
one
the
where they
Karate
had that?
Kid.
Yeah, I think I've heard about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with you. Yeah.
Now, now I don't think it's any coincidence that she won that for the same time she was going out with Jack Nicholson. I'm just saying.
Just
Pat amongst the
saying, like,
pigeons. Just saying. So
it's like,
yeah,
oh, no, nepotism, nepotism.
like if she, I'm not sure. She was definitely nominated for supporting female in the wrestler, and I think if she did win that for, I can't remember if she did win that, she or if she had won that, she definitely would have deserved it. But for My Cousin Vinny, those type of films don't even normally get nominated. Never mind.
Yeah,
Never mind.
but
And
I
I
think my
enjoyed the
cousin.
film. I just don't think she would have won it if there wasn't some, you know, something going on there. If Jack wasn't looking after his his girl there, like it's like.
He probably put in a good word, I suppose. But sure, like the academy and shenanigans, that's nothing new anyway.
So we'll go on to Ryan Reynolds now. He said he's gonna quit doing superheroes apart from Daredevil. So sorry, Deadpool. Daredevil.
So yeah.
There be another recasting Daredevil
Uh,
already. But
oh god.
Deadpool, after he doesn't mind if Deadpool gets any sequels, but he's not playing any superhero. Like he's had enough,
Yeah,
and he said like he didn't really. He said a few things about Green Lantern. It didn't really work out the way it was made.
he'll be pulling the reverse Hugh Jackman. He'll leave after one terrible one.
That really sounds like a sexual position when you say it. It was like the reverse
Reverse
Hugh
Hugh
Jackman.
Jackman. Yeah. Yeah. But
I don't know.
yeah,
We won't leave that there. Anyway, uh,
fair play. I actually like. It would be nice if he does Deadpool and it's well received, and he says, "Yep, leave it there." Like
from what I've
had
seen,
one
it's at
bad
least
and
going to
one
be
good. Like
fun. I'd say it mightn't set the world on fire, but from
yeah,
what they're promising and the real, if they're going off that in a test reel, if even the feel of that, like it's definitely going to be a fun city film. Like
yeah. I'm looking
it's,
forward to that enough. Anyway, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's yeah. You may as well if he's not feeling it like anymore. Fair enough. Like it might get tiring after a while to constantly be doing like CG suits and stuff like that.
mm. Well, I think a lot of the work at the moment for like kind of leading men that can do action is superheroes at the moment. So you have to like
Yeah,
think you have to a lot of them would be asked about it like if they're going to do it or they're not going to do it. So
yeah,
he's just saying that this is for me. This is my passion project for being my project for a while, getting this character done right. Um, so I'm out after this. I'll be doing other characters. Thank you. Um, and first of all, before we leave the Marvel typey news, um, just a note for everybody to watch the Honest Trailers Iron Man that just came out. It's pretty much explains exactly the kind of formula that they put into all the
yeah.
Marvel movies.
Yeah,
Uh,
I do love honest trailers now.
yeah, so check that out.
Uh,
I think it's like pretty much the last one they released. It's the Honest Trailers Iron Man, the original movie, and that's a lot of fun. And as
well,
we move on to some DC news, Zack Snyder has released the, the the news of who was meant to be the original villain to the Man of Steel sequel before it kind of morphed into a Batman on Superman effort. Uh, there was a sense that they were going to go ahead with Metallo, who's this kind of a cyborg man with a heart of kryptonite.
Yeah, they never would have let that name through though. The way WB like is marketing their stuff,
Sorry,
they never would have let that name through the way like WB
Metallo.
and Snyder are marketing like DC movies.
What would Metallo be? Metallo.
I don't know, some like black metal or something like that.
No,
They would
but like, what is he infringing on?
no, nothing, not infringing, but
Yeah.
they couldn't say, oh, we're going to put out this villain with this very silly name. Like
Oh, I
they'd never
suppose
be
so.
able.
Yeah, maybe they just would have kept on calling him like all the way through by his original human name.
Yeah,
Um, like,
like it's just like DC just seem embarrassed of this, or not DC, like Warner Brothers comic films just seem embarrassed of their own source material at times.
mm, well, the thing is they've gone too serious, so they can't they can't push in the sillier elements of it without like some kind of like this was kind of some like something silly was put forward in it, and it hit the like Superman's name is basically chosen by the people, like so
Yeah,
it's like you know nobody would seriously name themselves that one, kind of way, kind
yeah,
of way, but like it just catches on, like so it's
yeah.
what
Like
it is.
a critic by the name of Bob Chipman, who I read up on, he's saying like, can they just not draw from the worst period of comic book history, which is like the 80s, 90s kind of like grungy emo hero age? Like what? Like the reason Marvel are getting away with their kind of superhero stories is that they're kind of drawing from all places, but
Yeah,
kind of avoiding the super serious stuff because they know that that is only like that only really appeals to teenagers and no one else.
yeah. And I think there's a place for it. Like they'll do it. Like Civil War itself is just the construction, even if it's not the same as the comics, is going to be pretty serious of its whole. Like it's like
Yeah,
you're going to have like friends seriously disagreeing with friends, probably some government mandate that needs to be enforced. It's going to be heavy stuff,
yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like
Yeah,
you have the place for that. Like, but then you might have some characters that can break it up a bit, or like honestly see the the, the horrible dark humor in some of the horrible stuff happening, because like there is a such thing as gallows humor. Like as Irish people, we got through so many things in our
yeah.
history, like just
That's
by like
that's
having gallows humor. Like,
that's about the only humor we have left, really.
yeah. So 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 there's that to be had. Like there's a place for it, but it'll probably Civil War, and I think even the last Captain America was a little more serious than
Definitely
Civil
more
War.
serious, less of a romp than First Avenger, anyway.
Yeah. Um. Well, it was kind of like the Manchurian Candidate meets superhero movies.
Yeah,
So it kind of worked that way. Um. Yeah, no, that'd be interesting. He said basically, Brainiac was to come, but he didn't think people would want to go for another alien invasion that quick after the first movie.
yeah,
So some kind of something coming from Earth, even if it does have like a kryptonite at the heart of it. And he was saying at the end he was planning for a case to be of kryptonite to be obviously delivered to Wayne Manor to
yeah.
spill it off. But then they decided that that part
Just
is
go
more
straight for the big
interesting.
guns then.
Yeah. So they just went straight to the face off, like. Um, yeah, hopefully, Lex Luthor would have been involved somehow, because I don't see a creation of a cyborg without some kind of puppeteer in the background. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Did you see they have the new costumes on display at Comic
yeah,
Con? I think it was.
yeah. No. Comic Con is I think it's going to be mostly over this weekend, isn't it? There's some
Yeah.
other
So,
uh, there definitely.
whoa! I actually heard about this. People were saying, yeah, the Batman costume has a bit of a bulge, let's say.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, it
it
actually really
really
does.
large.
Oh my, Holy
What
moly! Why is it so big?
would you not want to protect the if you got
Like,
anywhere over?
yeah, I know. Surely he has a jockstrap and all. But God Almighty, it's pointing out further than like every other part of his body.
I'm trying to think would it anyway. But, depends on how
Yeah,
you.
it's a bit obvious. I imagine they'll kind of try and like be more discreet about it in the actual film.
Well, to think about the way the coloring works in Zack Snyder's last movie, and then it looks like it's going to be even worse in this movie. You probably won't be able
Probably
to
so
see anything.
saturated you won't even notice. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about that. Uh,
I'd worry about it. It looks like he has a condition.
yeah, well, let's just hope it's something he couldn't fit into his utility belt. Or he was
That's what.
bit by a
That's where
radioactive
he's.
spider and he didn't get spider
That's where
powers.
he. No, that's where he's storing the kryptonite. That's the
Aha.
place Superman would look.
Yeah, you're not gonna like scan someone for hidden weapons and then go to their junk. It's like,
He just basically said, "So I hear you're raised in the American Midwest, Superman. Yeah, you must be very homophobic."
well, that's a strange place to go, Batman.
Why did you say that? Oh, no reason.
Did I ask you if you bleed? I forgot the bleeding part. You will bleed, by the way.
I honestly hope that the conversations they have in the film are like twice as awkward as the one we're having now. Like, it'll be the best.
So, where do you get your capes? Um, Mother made it.
Made it.
I wish I had a mother. And he just goes on his knees and takes out a load of broken pearls and throws on the dead parents.
Oh god. Okay, we better move on. We like
Okay, we got to now. Okay, so as
uh,
far as female casting goes on the TV side, we've got Daredevil has its Elektra, who is strangely uh half Korean, half half Spanish or something. I've forgotten. Let's see. Let me just look up her IMDb. She's definitely not in any way Greek.
uh,
uh,
oh, sorry. What was her name? I was still kind of half laughing to myself
Elodie
again.
Young. She actually, if you remember the second GI Joe film, she played Jinx, the other ninja that was under the tutelage of Snake Eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's part Cambodian and French,
yeah,
and
that makes sense.
she was born in Paris. So
Yeah.
shut up, you. Uh, so that pop up there. Damn you, IMDb. But she got away with playing someone who was probably meant to be Japanese in in GI Joe 2. So she definitely has the kind of skin tone and the hair for it. She just I don't know if she looks Greek enough, but this is just nitpicking, I suppose.
Yeah,
But she's a
because
decent actor and carry off the action.
and let's be honest, wasn't it Jennifer Garner who did it last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was a bit too white.
So the bar has been set pretty low, let's be honest.
Yes, and I've heard that the actual Electra movie was completely horrible.
So have I. I've heard it.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't dared go watch it. Like,
And the fact that it has like one of the, the actual the one's more interesting Daredevil characters in Typhoid Mary, and it just like completely makes her into kind of a henchwoman.
Yeah,
Like hopefully at some point Typhoid Mary be used. Though I think they're gonna have to introduce a lot of superpowers into the mix. So maybe after
the
Iron Fist,
the actual show.
maybe after Iron Fist,
Maybe
or at
didn't
least
they say they're having? I didn't read the article, but someone said they were having kind of trouble, kind of to get Iron Fist off the ground.
well, there's an awful lot of superpowers and mysticism that they haven't really used in the Marvel universe yet. So
Yeah,
maybe the fact that it's one of the last ones might be able to bring in a lot of things slower. Like
yeah.
it's
It'll
kind of
be.
like it's
They
kind of
kind of
like
need to.
having the last Airbender, like mixed with Bruce Lee and the kind of like Daredevil in a
Yeah,
way, his character. So it's kind of like it doesn't fit in what they've set up with Daredevil, especially, but not even with the Marvel universe in the movies yet. So
yeah. They'll probably want to do the same as they did with Agents of Shield, which brought in the Inhumans to kind of have a less kind of risky thing going on in the TV show to kind of bring in the idea of mysticism existing in this universe and all that,
well, they've already
and saying
started in
how it
Daredevil.
works.
It looks like
What?
they've already started in Daredevil.
Yeah,
A lot of people are saying Madame Gao is the Crane Mother from Iron Fist, so they're already starting this. Of all of them, the seeds are set for Iron Fist from the very start of the TV universe.
yeah,
Like a lot of that stuff with that Stick and was dealing with might come up in Iron Fist as well,
yeah,
because that's going to have to be explained. Possibly that child that you had to go out and you saying you had to kill was, a demon of some form, and it does look like Madame Gao is connected to Iron Fist because the symbols she uses on those drugs are connected to a villain of Iron Fist's.
okay,
So it's some connection. People are saying she's a Crane Mother. She's definitely more powerful than you'd expect. Like like you saw, like she straight up hurt Martin Murdoch with one move, and like 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 it didn't take much at all from her. So like she's either like super kung fu lady or she's got some kind of mystical power going on. So it's
yeah.
there's definitely and she's kind of disappeared from the plot, so it suggests that like if she's not going to stay in Daredevil, where is she going?
She's
It's like
off somewhere else, like
yeah,
up to no good.
being awesome, Madame Gao.
Yeah, yeah,
And, like, she was one of the better characters of the villains. Like just like she just wanted to follow her and Wesley. And just forget about everybody except Wilson Fisk. Just those three.
yeah,
The rest of them weren't that interesting, except for foils to those characters. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, no,
Okay, so yeah,
it's going to be an awkward one, and I think they need to do a lot of building work before they go into that. So as it is, they're going to have Daredevil 2 before they actually probably even have Luke Cage. So
hmm. How's that coming along? Does anyone know?
Luke Cage is going to be kind of pushed in Jessica Jones because of their relationship. So he's going to be in there.
Yeah,
So where I don't know how much of the setup for Iron Fist they're going to have in Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. Though Luke Cage has always had a thing with, like a partnership with Iron Fist, so maybe in
yeah,
be a bit of a setup. But who knows? Um, it's to be seen. But I'd say it'd be an awful lot easier when you bring stuff like Doctor Strange into the whole mix to go for like a kind of more a more mystical element to the Marvel universe.
yeah,
But they kind of need to bring in slowly into the Netflix series as well, because it's its own little ghetto of Marvel Town at the moment. As in the ghetto. So
bit of a
it needs
dumping
to be
ground
built up
for all.
right in its own way, you know. But it does help that you could bring in some things from Doctor Strange without it being kind of where did this come from? Like
Yeah,
after you
without
have
putting your
history,
neck out too much as well.
yeah. And we got more Ash versus Evil Dead picks and a tiny trailer tease San Diego Comic Con. Uh, if you can see here, there's everything I see from here as a fan of the movies is working well for me. Like it does look like it's going to be like maybe a toned down version of the movies, but it's on a cable channel, so that suggests that it's not going to be too toned down.
Yeah,
You've got a few more pictures of action action, and you've got the one the Sam Raimi's car driving somewhere, the famous car that Sam
that's it.
Raimi puts in all his movies.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
famous old car. Uh, so that's
That
about all
car
we
has
have for now.
seen better days.
What's that?
That car has seen better days, I'd say, at this point.
It has, but like it's kind of like the signature thing. It's like
Yeah. Oh,
Hitchcock
yeah,
being the
yeah. I
background
know
of
why
the
it's
signature
there.
thing.
It's just it's been through a lot.
Yeah, but I'd say he can throw the money into taking care of it, like and it's one of those old beaters that probably lasts quite a bit once you regularly take care of it because it's like it's not fancy technology in it. It's like the stuff that stays together once you look after it, uh,
Yeah.
like the older cars stay together a lot, the newer cars. Uh, Listen to me sound like I know about cars, but I know from people saying I don't know about cars, but you see people be able to restore older cars, and they're while some parts are hard to find, that the parts are definitely better held together. Um, and Netflix, James will be sorry to hear this. Netflix and
Yeah.
Amazon have passed on Hannibal.
That's undeniable.
Now,
It was a long shot anyway, wasn't it?
the showrunner Brian Fuller, who's famous for Pushing Daisies and some other things, um, he says he's
Wait,
looking into
what?
other.
Did you
Sorry.
say Pushing Daisies? That's the
Yeah.
same guy.
Yep.
Whoa, wow. Those are two very different shows.
Yeah. You did not know that.
I didn't know it was the same guy, no. Like I was aware of Pushing Daisies and I'm obviously aware of Hannibal, like, but I didn't know they were by the same person.
Yep.
Oh wow. Because like Pushing Daisies is this very kind of saccharine, kind of Paul Anderson-esque kind of show.
Yeah.
That's just everything is like it has kind of dark material, but it just sugarcoats it all. And Hannibal is
Mm.
just the exact opposite.
Mm.
But yeah, that just gave me a giggle now. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Well, it's all I can really say about this. To someone that hasn't watched it, but Hannibal, that is, um, that they passed on season 4, but Brian Fuller's still looking into things he's saying. So I suppose it's the wait to be seen. But that was definitely a big option that they've lost out on. So
Yeah,
I wonder if that's like a bad news altogether for Hannibal fans of the
yeah,
TV
it's
series.
a
Anyway.
shame. It's a shame because like the franchise had kind of petered off a lot, and now it's kind of happening all over again. Well, not because of quality this time, because apparently Hannibal was getting fairly good reviews and stuff. It's just it wasn't getting the rating. Simple as that.
Yeah. Well, and for one thing that's coming out of that again from Warren Ellis, that he's teaming with the Walking Dead producer Gail Ann Hurd, who's produced of lots of things. Like, was she one of the people behind the X-Men franchise? Yeah, I think she was. Her and her husband, uh, to adapt the popular Mexican comic book and TV series El Pantera to
Yeah.
Universal's cable channel. Um, so there's an announcement that like the studios actually announced the first look deal with Dark Horse, so they get options on stuff like Concrete, Umbrella Academy, and Harrow County, and
Hmm.
they're actually looking at IDW's Killed Shakespeare as well.
Yeah.
Uh, Basically, kind of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen for Shakespeare. Uh,
Yeah.
If you see what I mean, it's like kind of his characters have to save a reclusive wizard version of him. Uh,
Yeah.
they could team together. Uh,
Yeah.
and the machine, uh, uh, which was from 1913, which is like basically computer programmer creates an artificial intelligence,
Artificial.
artificial intelligence,
Say it
artificial
again.
AI. Okay. For the military, which naturally goes horribly wrong. And this is like during the WW2, so they'll actually that's another one they're optioning. But Mexican crime fighting vigilante, that does sound interesting, and
Sounds interesting. Yeah.
hopefully Alice will do like the pilot script or something. He did one for his. Have you ever seen the pilot for his one comic that was like kind of like it was kind of like Thunderbirds if they were real, if they just had strange characters on book, like you know,
Oh,
it was like what was it?
can't remember myself.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Uh,
Look it up.
it's gonna really annoy me because it's like it's probably on the tip of my tongue. Better write Warren because Alice is actually a common name.
Oh yeah. I need to cut it.
Right. Global frequency. So basically, there's these people around the world that are on the global frequency. So if they have an emergency and you need some weird ass talents, you know,
Yeah.
this group of like completely off the books uh, emergency specialists will come in, like, and they actually did a TV pilot and I watched it. It was decent enough. It would have been a nice start, but the books I think only last about 12 or 14 issues. Not because it was bad. I don't think it's just one of those things that Ellis just moved on to something else. Like there was one that he did called
Yeah.
Doctor Sleepless, which I think he just left. It was one of his own ones. It's like
It
basically
seems
about
to be what he does from time
yeah.
to time. He just says,
Sometimes, yeah,
that's enough.
sometimes. Hopefully, he's going to finish Injection, but I think I it was unfortunate with Planetary. The last episode was just like between his wife's death and then the artist not being able to pick it back up.
Yeah.
Excuse me. My skin was dry and my computer was trying to tell me so. Um, that between his wife's death and then the artist didn't couldn't pick back up the job. The last issue like took a year and a half to come out.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate for people that were reading Planetary and just going, we want to see the end of
Yeah.
this book. Because
Yeah,
it
but
was
sure.
definitely the finish off of the story. It wasn't like, just like being left open. It was meant to only be 27 issues or so. So,
Yeah. These things happen, right?
yeah. But it does look interesting. Any of those, if he's involved, Umbrella Academy, that's Jared Way's book, isn't it? The guy from
Not sure.
the guy from the band, the band with the thing. Uh,
Yes,
People be
that's that.
shouting at me. If there's any like if there's any
We need to
millennials out there,
stream.
they be
We
shouting
need
at
to
me.
stream these.
But well, we are kind of streaming this over YouTube. People could
Yes,
join
but
us if they
like,
want to and hear this rubber.
it's, I
But
suppose,
yeah, no, that should be all interesting. I think that's about it for that news. Is there much in the way of games to talk about post
it's a quiet week.
before we
Nothing much going on as far
before
as
we
I
see some San Diego
remember.
stuff coming from us? Would there be some stuff
But
from San Diego? Would there be some
yeah, there
stuff
might be
game
some
wise
stuff
from San
over the
Diego
week.
when the news comes in?
Yeah, like there might be something by next week anyway. Uh,
Did you manage to get a chance to look at the new Terminator?
no, I don't think I will.
A lot of people have been really down on it. I think it's fun. It's definitely better than the last two. Um,
I think the I think the main problem with me is I'm getting tired of kind of nostalgia based stuff a lot
yeah.
lately. Like Jurassic World, the more I think about it, the less I kind of like it, so
Mm.
to speak. It wasn't awful, but I'm just thinking it didn't quite sit well with me. It wasn't great, honestly.
There were a few
And
friends of
I'm
mine that
thinking,
I know that are really into 80s properties and like really hated where it taken, and they're going like maybe they're too close to the original. Like it kind of need to take it of its own thing. Like as it
yeah,
is, the movie itself kind of separates itself. It's kind of like the Star Trek,
yeah,
Star Trek reboot, where it kind of allows you to go, okay, somewhere in an alternate reality is the movie I know and the timeline I care about. Like you could take it as a completely different thing. It doesn't ruin it, but it kind of
yeah.
plays on it. And
Like
there's others,
sometimes this kind of thing works. It's just there's something about like Terminator that seems kind of cynical, really.
yeah.
Especially because it's trying to ape the original, but the original had a completely different tone. Like the Terminator films have turned into action films when they started off as kind of very kind of
It was a
centralized
sci-fi thriller, yeah.
thrillers. Yeah, exactly. With few characters, but like really kind of dark and gritty, very up close violence, that kind of thing.
Mm,
And now it's just kind of mowing down bad guys. That's what it's turned into.
mm. Well, I think it did that with the second movie, so it's
Yeah, my feelings on the second movie are mixed even. I think the only reason the second movie gets a free pass is because of Linda Hamilton and the guy who played the cop. I can't ever think of his name, I'm ashamed to say.
the second one.
Can you take? Yeah,
Oh, you mean Robert Patrick? That
yeah,
played the T-1000.
the T-1000, yeah.
When you said cop, I was thinking of an actual cop, not someone disguised as a cop.
Oh, no, yeah, 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 yeah.
I was
No,
like,
no, the T-1000. The T-1000.
um, yeah, Emma, there was something in the actual in the honest trailers for that movie that said like, why would Robert Patrick pick those ears if there was a steady choice?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, uh, but they're we love Robert Patrick. He's actually in. He's actually an Easter egg in the new movie. He's when the two Terminators fight in the middle of one gets pushed through a window. There's a guy just sitting there, like and he's Robert Patrick. And I
Yeah,
only saw it
yeah,
in a video. You wouldn't be able to pick her up while you're watching it unless you knew exactly where to look.
yeah. I think this kind of stuff would work better in like an animated short, or not an animated, and like a short, like before another film or something, or at a Comic Con even, where
Mm,
they just said, "Look, we have all these actors right here. Let's make it like a semi fan film for the heck of it, like."
mm, mm. I'm sure there has been.
And it kind of shows another worrying trend in that like films with not X but like Game of Thrones
Yeah.
actors are starting to have a kind of curse going with them.
I don't think she was
Like,
bad. I think
yeah,
she
it's
will
not.
be
I don't even think.
unfortunately compared to Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, and Linda Hamilton was a goddamn force of nature at the time.
Yeah,
I'm not even saying that it was like it. They just the thing is when you have a character like I keep getting mixed up with characters and actors. When you have an actor from a very kind of popular TV show go
yeah,
straight into a film thereafter,
yeah,
like the problem comes up in that you have the fans of the show who might not necessarily be on the same page as the film, like, and they go in with a certain expectation, and it's just kind of ruined a bit.
yeah.
Like usually it's better to kind of stick with TV for a while, then go into film after your name isn't look like you're not forgotten, but you're not like oversaturated in everyone's mind as well.
Mm. I think one thing that she does benefit again is from the change in the timeline. People are saying she's a lot more vulnerable, as Sarah Connor, which is weird. That she just comes off as a little girl, but this is a Sarah Connor that was had her parents killed in front of her by a Terminator and saved by the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator in the movie
Yeah, but then
when
you
she
think of
well
like when
before
Lynn,
it. So
but then you think, yeah,
she is being brought up with a protective figure from when she was a tween, and but
yeah,
still has all that weight of what she has to do on her.
yeah. I don't like, but Linda Hamilton in the first one was arguably even more kind of vulnerable. She
Well,
was
no,
very
but
kind of
just
damsel in
but
distress in
this
that.
they're mostly talking about Terminator 2. Uh, so she's I think even bringing it into the point where she is actually able to she's still like the fighting Sarah Connor.
Yeah,
She still's had this someone she can rely on, and someone that she still weirdly is in a robot she sees as a father figure. Like she calls him pops all the way through it. Like
yeah,
so, it's like it's a different Sarah Connor than what we had originally. So I
yeah.
don't think it's worth. It's not really worth it, but it's still. I don't think it's up to the first two. But I think it's a different animal. I don't think you can really compare it bit for bit, and
Mm.
it's also probably not for us. Certainly not more for me. Like it's not the movies they're making now are not marketed towards 37-year-old men.
I,
They're not,
I
and
don't
I
know.
can't like go. I have to realize that I'm I either enjoy them for what they are, or if whatever I start picking on things that just don't fit with my generation's ideals, and like
That's what I was thinking with Jurassic World, that I was even a bit too old for it. But I'm
mm,
thinking there's people way older than me that this has been marked to for a nostalgia factor, like, and I'm still thinking they're trying to kind of pull the wool over our eyes a bit,
yeah,
like
no,
studios lately.
I think it's the way a lot of things are written now, and the way
Yeah,
their
because
sisters are made.
like I always go back to the Marvel films because I was never that much of a massive fan in my childhood. I obviously saw the occasional X-Men cartoon and I saw the occasional like Marvel comic, but I love the Marvel films and
Mm,
I've no kind of like nostalgia factor with them, not enough to warrant me always going to see every one, like.
yeah. Well, so far they've been, at least decent.
Yeah,
They've
it's
got
they
that.
have the they have the advantage of actually being good films.
Yeah, enjoyable, if not works of art.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think we'll leave it there. So, but
yeah.
I'd suggest to anybody see it, and just judge yourself on it, because it
Decide for yourself if this is the kind of film that you enjoyed,
yeah,
and
and
if you
try not
feel
to
something,
base your
yeah,
ideas too much on the originals, because it's not gonna live up to the originals. It's gonna
definitely
be
not. Like
it's basically rebooted how a newer audience can like it. So if you're bring like enjoy the callbacks and all the Easter eggs and bits like that. But
yeah, you have only one person involved who was involved in the original, like, and
yeah,
that's not a lot.
no, it's not, and there's obviously an awful lot low for the originals. But if someone was gonna try to make the originals again, it'd be even worse.
Yeah, would be. Yeah.
Take it in a new direction. Unfortunately, the way movies work nowadays, and the way they're made, it's not really the way that the way uh, it's not made in a vacuum anymore. And
No, exactly.
there will be movies that are made in a vacuum that are coming along and new and good. Now we mightn't like them because they're not for us, but there might be a few that are for us, that really pipe out, that like the Terminator was originally. and
Yeah,
uh, and then there was enough control over the system back then for James Cameron to make his own. Terminator 2, you know, which
Yeah.
those Terminator 2 made a lot of the tropes that are in action movies now. uh, like it was that was probably one of the starts of the modern action movie, going past the 80s.
Yeah.
I think like,
Like
but
it just goes to show how influential Cameron has been in in a very kind of subdued way. Like he goes in, makes a film, and so many people copy him afterwards. Like the amount of like films and video games that copy Aliens is unbelievable, really.
yeah, no, definitely. Like even we were saying, like Jurassic World has a bit of an alien vibe for some of the like
Exactly,
animal
yeah,
attacks, like the dinosaur attacks. But yeah, that was my opinion. Give it your own best. I enjoyed it. I can understand what people are saying, but I don't think you have, it depends on how critical you want to be. And
exactly.
why go into a movie like thinking, oh, if this doesn't do this, this, and this, I am gonna hate it.
Yeah,
Which you're
yeah,
kind of setting yourself up for if you're so precious about the originals.
yeah,
So fair enough, like their own business if they want to do that, but I'm not gonna go into a movie I paid for. I'm gonna try to enjoy it. Uh,
yeah.
even
Fair
if
enough.
it doesn't, if there are some big flaws in it. Um, but it's we'll we'll move on to the end there. We're nearly finished. Is there anything you're looking forward into the next week? Now we've got some movies coming out. Ant Man will probably be next week. That looks interesting.
Yeah,
Looks more interesting than it did a couple of weeks ago. Some of the trailers and
yeah. It's
teasers
starting
that
to pick up a bit of steam at last.
the heist aspect of it is one of the things that's really I'm enjoying the idea of, because it brings a completely new slant on it.
Yeah, it might be
Um,
a nice new kind of origin story at last.
yeah, so definitely worth looking at. And as far as comic books goes, I know there's definitely going to be, so for me, there's going to be the next issue of Kill Strike, uh, which is kind of like, as we said, a takeoff, but those 80s 90s image type heroes,
Yeah.
which and there's going to be Lumberjanes and a few others, I think. So, is there anything else you're looking forward to yourself?
Myself, don't think there's anything in particular I'm looking forward to this week. And I know the week after I won't be here. I'm going to be, I'm going to be going on holidays the week after.
You sound infused about your holidays.
Yeah, it's
I'm going to be going on
holidays with
holidays.
a holidays with a quotation mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm only messing. It's my brother's wedding, so I
Ah,
will be going. Basically, I'm not a very sun holiday kind of guy, so
yeah. Neither one.
I'll miss a lot of stuff that week if
Yeah.
anything happens.
Okay. Well, we might have you broadcast from there if you. You
Yeah,
probably have
if
a
I
better
can, we'll
connection
have
over there than you have here.
a special like dispatch from wherever.
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
might, as I was saying, you probably have a better connection over there than you do over here.
yeah, yeah. Ironically enough, yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
no, we'll leave it there. As far as going at that, but as far as anybody should check out this damn band, sounds very interesting. I
Very
might
good
give that a
comic.
look
Check it
myself.
if you like any kind of rock music. Check it out.
Okay, and that's us for this week. Thank you everybody for listening. This has been Nevermind the Buzzcast. I've been Stephen.
And I've been
That's
Evan.
been Evan.
Damn it!
Sorry, I've
I
been.
thought I was ready for you this time.
No, okay. If you want to do it,
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it this time proper.
this has been Nevermind the Buzzcast, and I've been Stephen.
And I've been Evan.
Yeah, see what you did there. Good showman work. Anyway,
Yeah,
so we'll leave you for this week, and hopefully we'll have big news and we'll have a bigger crew back in next week. Bye.
hopefully. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Good job.